What's up, everybody? We're happy to be amongst you today in front of you. Today is an opportunity for us to actually introduce everybody to, the people that are behind Kut Different. We've been doing this work for a minute throughout the summer. We started this organization here in January, and between these 8 months, we have got a lot of things done. We've been getting a lot of questions of, who's behind Kut Different? What is Kut Different? And this video is for you. If you have any questions about who we are, who's behind us, and what we do, we're about to answer your questions in this video. As you can see, I'm Jamie Gilmore. I'm the CEO of Kut Different. We have Tony McCall, Coach McCall, whatever you want to call him. He's the director of our activities. And we have Eddie Rocker. He's the president of Kut Different. We all have titles, and when you do a business, you have to give people titles. But at the end of the day, we work as a team. We're the three amigos. Everything we do here at Kut Different, we sit down in a group, and no person is bigger than the other. We work as a team. We get things done. But at the end of the day, we do have our own perspective titles. So we're so happy to be in front of. We're so happy to be doing this work. So we're going to start off in this video. We're going to introduce ourselves, introduce to why, how we got a part of this organization, and what we want to see personally, happen with this organization. So we're going to start off first. We're going to start off with Tony. He's going to introduce himself, tell him a little about himself, and he'll answer the other questions after that.
All right, I am Tony McCall. I prefer to go by Coach. I've been coaching, actually I coached Jamie, or was part of the team where I coached Jamie. My daytime job, I train athletes to get better at their sport, various sports, volleyball, football, baseball, things like that. And Jamie came to me in the spring and told me the idea about Kut Different, what him and Eddie had been working on, and pretty much asked me if I would be a part. I didn't know at that point in time what it entailed. I did believe in his idea, and I think we kind of took his idea and really expanded upon it, and it turned out to be great for the summer and the kids that we had a chance to work with.
Yeah, for sure. And like it just to this point, when I talked to Coach McCall, and it just even going further than that, when he trained me when I was leaving to go off to school, this was 2017 spring, when I was trying to go professional level. Coach had actually trained me. We would have conversations through our training, and even sitting after our trainings about, what we would like to see happen here locally in our old Calamarian County area, or what the impact we would like to have. And it's funny how God works and how things come full circle, because the things that we sat there and said, how we want to come back here and build a organization to help the young man in our community, even athletically and academically, it worked out in that way. And when I first came to him, I wasn't even thinking about that situation, but he mentioned it to me one day, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. It just came full circle. So we put that energy out there a long time ago, and look at us now. We're here doing this work. So now we'll let Eddie introduce himself and tell a little about himself as well.
All right, I'm Eddie Rocker, born and raised right here in Ocala. Basically, I remember I was at the gym 3 o'clock in the morning, and as I was starting my day, my brother was getting ready, Jamie was getting ready to end his day. But we hopped on the phone, and I just remember we spoke about the name Kut Different. We pondered on that for a while, but that name in itself, it just stuck to us. Kut Different. When you think about it, what did it really mean? And we just talked about our different, the things that we've dealt with through life, through sports, growing up, the different aspects of the things that we've seen, and just how we were different than most of the people that we grew up with, in a sense. And we just took that and we held strong to that. That's who we are. We are Kut Different. I mean, we not saying that we better than the next person, but it's just the way our level of thinking, the things we do, the perspective on life that we have. And once he told me about him and Coach McCall talking, and just seeing how all three of our ideas gelled together, it only made sense that we came back home and did what we felt needed to be done within our community. For the organization in itself, we definitely just want to, as it has already shown, where we definitely want to get into some of these kids' lives to show that there's something far and beyond, other than just Ocala and other than just sports. We want to introduce, we want to expose them to all the different avenues in life. And by being exposed, we all know, what you all have seen, that there are wonderful impacts that will come from it. So that's basically what Kut Different is.
Yeah, and I don't think Coach, so I'm going to bounce it back to Coach one time and back to Eddie real quick. I don't think he's talking about your education or where you went to school, so tell me a little bit about that real quick.
So We all three come from a sports background. I was blessed enough to receive a full scholarship at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I have to throw that in there. So some people might get that confused with other schools. I have a degree in Afro-American Studies, and really use what I learned in college, use what I learned in corporate America. I do have 7-8 years in corporate America as a corporate trainer, and that was me teaching people how to do their job on a daily basis. And I use all of those background experiences to bring to this organization and hopefully add to its success and so forth and so on. But so I went to school at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
That is cool. And I was on the 7 Hills in Tallahassee. Went to Florida A&M. Graduated in 2013 with my bachelor's in criminal justice, and I went back in 2018 and finished in 2019 with my master's in public administration. For me, within those years of me being in undergrad and grad school, I had the opportunity to encounter youth at many different times. Again, I am the oldest out of all of my siblings, and just having that oldest mentality, that oldest background of being the one to take care, so to speak, of my younger family. That's just something that grew on me, and being able to interact with kids through school, it just showed, that's something that I'm definitely passionate about. So again, by being able to instill those things that I grew up with at a young age and was able to pass down to my younger siblings and younger family members, man, it's just something that I don't take for granted, and I truly love and cherish what I'm doing.
Yeah. So for me, I going last. I'm gonna try to tie and make everything full circle. So me and Eddie relationship. This is my big brother. This is my older brother. So as he just said, he has been that guidance throughout my life. And having an older brother go through school, just somebody to look up all my life. I wanted to be like him, and then it got to the point where I wanted to be better than him. So it was always that motivation. And we have a little brother as well that he transitioned and he wanted to be like that as well. And even with Coach, we from Ocala, so it's a small town. Everybody pretty much know everybody. I met Coach at a young age. He started training me probably I was in middle high school, one of those in that range. But Coach is around the same age as my father, so he went to school with my father. So we all familiar with each other. Just to let you know, this is more family oriented. This is we work as a family. We are family at that. But just even get back to Kut Different and tell a little bit about myself. So played football as well. Went off to Temple University in 2012. I graduated in 2016 with my bachelor's in human resource management. Graduated from Fox School of Business up there. And shortly after that, I had a 5th-year option of football, so I transferred to Western Illinois University outside of Chicago, maybe 2-3 hours outside of Chicago. I played ball there for 1 year, finished in 2017, and then that's when I started training with Coach. That didn't work out, so I went back and actually had the opportunity to do a graduate assistant, a GA role in a multicultural center there. So I was a student service coordinator working with various student organizations. So and I had the opportunity to finish my graduate work in 2018. So I had my master's in sports management. So around that time, I started applying for jobs, doing different things, and not really landing jobs. And it's like, man, you got your master's degree, like why you not landing these jobs? Close friend of mine, Dominique Prather, up there in Illinois, he was my buddy, still to this day, my close friend. But we were sitting down one day in the room watching a game, and I'll never forget, we were just talking, and I was like, man, bro, like I'm applying for these jobs. I'm qualified, like why can't I land these jobs? And he was affirming me in this situation. He was like, bro, you cut different. Like you're not like the others. Like you cut different. And sometimes, when you cut different, people see that and they don't want to bring you in because they see you'll go beyond them, or it would just you're a threat to them, so they don't want to let you in their organization. So it was just other things he was saying, but that word cut different. And in that moment, we looked at each other and I was like, cut different. And I just knew at that moment when he said that to me, I knew I was gonna do something with this, but I didn't know. And I went home that day. And started sketching. And I still have that book to this day of sketches of what was cut different, like drawing it out, how I would see it, a logo. And when I first started using it, I used scissors as the K. If you can picture that, a scissors as the K, and then put Kut Different. And then that was my mind. I was just thinking different. I was like, man, what can he do? What can we do? But that was still, like I said, that day I went and put that action plan in mode. And so this is probably around November, December, probably November. I called him right away, told him about Kut Different, and he was like, man. So we at that moment, me and him started talking about like, what can we do with this Kut Different? Cut, like the name, we just knew it, and I'm pretty sure you know, or you're not familiar with the term different, cut from a different cloth. You know what I mean? It just means being different. So we was like, what can we do with this word? And we know it stood out. Everybody we told this word to, or this phrase to, you know, they were like, whoa, we like that. So anywho, so fast forward into January, so I still started applying for different jobs in that time, not landing a job. So it just felt at that time God was moving me in a direction where He wanted me to go. So it led me January. I come back home and I'm in the space of, you know, what should I do or how can I provide back to the community? I knew I had a passion for the youth, so me and Eddie started volunteering in the school system. And at the time we volunteered in the school system, we went in knowing I think we had already said we wanted to do mentorship.
Yeah, definitely.
We had already knew it, or if we didn't know, when we went in, we knew right away. Oh, this is what we need to be doing, because we seen how the young men in that school were accepting to us, and the schools we were going to accepting to us, and we seen that lack of the void that was needed to be filled. You know, going in and seeing young men doing, you know, we asking them questions, and we were working with this young man. We're asking them questions like, you know, why are you in trouble? Obviously, we were working with them because they're in trouble. Like, why did you just do what you do? And each one was able to tell us verbally why they did what they did, and they knew they were wrong. So we're like, man, so you know you're wrong, you did this, and you know you're wrong, so why did you do it? So we knew that it was just that accountability. They had no one to hold them accountable for their actions. So it's like, okay, we have to fill this void. So we start building relationships with young men. We seen how every time how we come into school, their faces light up. They're ready for it. They're coming to us. They're ready for us. What we doing today? What we eating at today? We'll eat lunch with them. So it's like, man, we really, you know, we're making an impact on these young men. So why not fill this void? Why not make it an organization where we can reach the whole community, the whole county, then go even further, you know, expand. So we started just doing more, and now we're on paper with it. Okay, this is what we're doing. So now we're on paper with it. We reach out to I already knew Coach McCall was somebody I wanted to be a part of this. So we reach out to Coach. So my scissor, you know, my thing I told you with the scissors, that ended up didn't work out, because as you can see, you know, we got with the designer. He was saying, you know, you probably want to, you know, go away from the scissors, because, you know, people are going to think you're a barbershop or something like that. So it was like, but that's the background that really got going. And it did one interaction. I won't say the young man's name, but I was sitting down with him. And that same day, you know, his friends were joking at him. They were like, he never comes to school. And I was like, well, why don't you come to school? And he shrugged his shoulders like this, like, man, I'm like, you know, fourth grade. I'm like, what you mean you don't know? You know, your parents don't make you come to school? You're like, mm-mm. And I'm like, wow, like, you mean your mom don't make you come to school? He's like, nah. So at that moment, like, that kind of did something to my heart. Like, it was like, wow, like, we have to be this spokesperson. We have to be these people in the community that come, and these kids feel like, oh, they know Kut Different may come to my school. Mr. Eddie, Coach McCall, Mr. Jamie might come to my school today. I have to be here, or I have to get a certain grades because they're going to be checking my grades. You know what I mean? Or I have to do this because they won't, you know, they may tell my parents I can't play in the game, or I shouldn't play in the game if I don't do this. We have to build accountability system within our community. One thing we strive on, we say build a school to career pipeline, because we want to build a pipeline of kids that's going to, either you're going to school or you're going into your career. And we tell kids all the time, you don't have to, you know, go to college. You can get a trade. You can do different things. There's different things. You can be an entrepreneur, but you have to do something. You know what I mean? We want to build a success rate. So I think that's I don't know if I left anything out, or y'all have anything else with basically you know, what we are, how we came about. And let me, before y'all go, if you see the KD, the K is backwards. If you look at our different in our logo, it's spelled with capital and lowercase letters, because that just builds you know, emphasizes being unique. You know, the K is backwards, and people ask me time, why is the K backwards? And I say it's for that reason right there, so you can ask me that question, because it's different. You notice it stands out to you. We use lowercase and capital letters because it's different. You know what I mean? It looks different, and it stands out to people, and that's what we preach with our kids. You do not have to fit in with the crowd. You can be different. Some person may look at this and say, this may not look right in corporate or whatever that is, but we're different, and we strive on that. And when we can stand in the paint with anybody, any room, we'll be able to hold our own. So yeah, that's pretty much. I don't know if y'all have anything to say. If not, we'll get into the background. I guess the back. No, that was just. I guess that was the background. Mm-hmm. So So let me tell you that. So I just told you behind it. So let's do that. Tell them the mission. So for yourself, what do you see? Or what do you want out of Kut Different? Or you know, what do you foresee us doing? Just talk a little bit more, you know, from out of your own lens about Kut Different before we get into actually on paper, you know, who we are and what we do.
So when Jamie came to me with the premise, it pretty much was in line with things that I wanted to do and what I was already doing. So yes, I work with kids on a daily basis, making them faster, stronger, all that good stuff. And I came to realize just over time that my training is not about the physical. My training is not about making you better. We do have those conversations. I do have one-on-one conversations with all of my clients. Yes, they pay me, but I make sure they understand the thought process behind being a superior athlete, a great athlete, or somebody coming off the bench. What it takes, what you have to do, the investment you have to make. And I started thinking, I almost feel like this is a ministry of some sort. So I really have over the last year or so kind of considered myself the owner and operator of a sports ministry. And so given what Jamie explained of what Kut Different was and what he wanted, I felt like it fell in line with where I was going and how I was growing my actual business. So as far as what I see out of this, long term, short term, or whatever, I see us three guys and those that we bring in inspiring kids to dream bigger and better. Some by way of sports, some by way of academics, some by way of their artistic skill set, whether it's music, drawing, or whatever the case may be. But you do not have to accept your circumstances. I don't care if you do come from a latchkey home. I don't care if you do come from a broken home or somebody in the house has used drugs or in prison, so forth and so on. Your circumstances do not define you. The effort, the energy, and the attitude you bring forth is what's going to get you out of that situation and make your situation better. I am proof positive of that. Yes, I had mom and dad in my life, but there's things that happened in my life with my outside family, aunts, uncles, and so forth and so on, that I could have made choices to where I wouldn't have been at the University of North Carolina. I wouldn't have been a good athlete. I wouldn't have been a good student athlete and things like that. But I think the three of us truly have a mission to make sure that if you really want to be successful in life or be a person who's well balanced and headed in the right direction, Kut Different is where it's at. It will be, I feel like in the next couple of years, your only option in this Marion County area. For sure. And that's what we're striving for.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I mean, the mission definitely is just looking at the youth, man. Just again, back to what Jamie said, being able to fill that void. A lot of the kids, they may not have that person in their home, and due to different circumstances, not just that the parent isn't home. The parent may not be home because they're always at work, or they're doing whatever they need to do to provide for their family. But in the midst of that time, if the kids are with us, if we have that opportunity to be in these kids' life, to that particular child's life, we will instill things just like a coach. We will try to get the best out of each child in order so that they can see, again, that they have a bright future. And just like Coach McCall said, there are things that happen in all of our life, that we dealt with that could have deterred us and made us, we could have been different in a sense to fit in the circle just like everybody else. We seen that seems like life is against us. Seems like everybody is against us. We can't win, but you have to use those tough times in order to press forward. And there's a lot of with the bad comes good. You just got to be willing to press forward, adversity, man. I think we're definitely big on that. Definitely big with adversity because you're gonna be faced with challenges so many times in life. But what will be your final outcome? So the mission is just to show these guys, show these kids that at the end of the day, no matter what you are faced with, you can turn out the better child. You can turn out to be better than what your circumstances was presented to you. So that's big, I think. And for what we see, what do I see? My vision is just continuously growing. I mean, the team that we have now definitely will continue to grow where we add more kids and we add more staff. That way we can affect, we can touch the whole community. We want to reach as many as possible, because this is something that we know is needed. And if the more we grow, the more people we can touch, and the better our outcome will be in the total kids that we're able to touch.
Yeah, and with that, we definitely are being I guess, just taking our time as far as how we go about this program, how, many kids we got. And it's a lot of people have been reaching out to us, and we definitely will get back with each and everybody has reached out to us. But we're not just going to take on your kids just to take on. We want to be able to know that we have enough people to be able to pour into your kid the right way. Like, we're not just going to take on just to add numbers for us to look good. If we have 6 kids in our program right now, if we have to keep those 6 kids for a whole year until we feel it's good enough for us to bring more people in, that's what we'll do. And like I said, we appreciate everyone that reaching out to us and wants us to work with your child. But like, I would just hope you will respect that we are not getting back with you right now because we have respect for you and for your child. We're not just going to bring them in our organization and not be able to give him the full Kut Different package, for lack of a better word, experience. There you go. So please respect that. But just for me, just going forward, I'm gonna paint a picture for y'all. So for myself, what I see Kut Different in the near future, or whatever you say, 5-10 years, plan. I see us, in a facility that's Kut Different. Our facility is half athletics and half academics. We have on staff trainers. Tutors, yep. And everything. We have a full house. Cause paint this picture for you. When we think about our kids and our youth, we're worried about what they're in school for a good majority of the day, but we're worried about when they go home, what are they doing? So what I see for our program, we're having buses. We had that are at schools and bring kids directly to us. And we have a program, you have to get your academics is the first thing you do. You have to get your academics first. The athletics is the plus side to what we do. We all are student athletes. We know what that process is, and we know school is first. So we will be truly built on academics first. So you come, we have tutors for you. Everyone's getting their work done. We have an athletic side. We know all kids don't play sports, but in our program, when I read this to you, you'll see we say in the principles gained through athletics. That doesn't mean you have to play sports, but that means we're going to instill these principles that you get through athletics in you. So when it comes to accountability, teamwork, we'll put you through different drills or different boot camp style workouts to make you build, just get those skills, those skill sets that are going to help you in life. You do not have to play a sport, and I want to emphasize on that. You can get these skills, and these will lead you in corporate America and your job. They'll help you out with that as well. So this full training facility we have, and I want to even brag on Coach a little bit. Coach has been doing this work, when it comes to the athletics and the training for years. Coaches in our community, he does it at a high level, and we'll put something in here with his stuff in there too, with his number and his fast, he's a speed coach, but he also trains, for your specific position as well. So we'll get that in here as well. But that's what I see for us. We'll grow, and even when it comes to meals, we have things with meals. Kids that come in and have meals, even if it's you stay here to the end of the day and we bust you back home. That's what we see. We want to have a safe environment for these kids where you come here and we building an atmosphere. The kids actually want to be with us. We're not forcing you to come here because your mom not able to pick you up, so you have to come to us. No, we want you to want to come here and build an environment where everybody, just a family environment where everyone wants to be here. But it's no joking around. We're gonna have fun, but there will be rules, and even that'll be a good thing when we get into it. I'll go over our values as well. We have some core values that we work out as well. So that's us though. That's what I see in the near future, and I'm putting that out here so you guys can hear it. And when it comes, we're gonna talk it in existence. So getting into that's us, just for our mouth, but on paper, this is what Kut Different is. Kut Different is a school and community-based male mentorship, student support, youth development organization that creates a school-to-career pipeline with exposure to positive role models. In our community is evidence that a lack of education, motivation, and the love can lead down a path of destruction. Our belief is that we can reach young men in the community by giving game, guidance, attention, motivation, education. It would change the mindset of many individuals. So for you all that are asking who we are, this video is for you. So that is who we are in a nutshell. We have what I'll do. We'll read our purpose. We'll read our mission, and then we'll read some values. But y'all been hearing me talk a lot, so I'll pass it along. Let some others can read the purpose. All right. We'll pass it along. So
our purpose is to inform, educate, motivate, and expose young men to a successful pathway of academics and athletics, creating a stronger and more vibrant community.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Mission. Yeah.
All right, so our mission is to create programs committed to empowering male students to succeed in the classroom and beyond through leadership training, mentorship, and the principles gained through involvement in athletics. helping young men see themselves as successful, lifelong learners, and inspiring them to realize their power individually and collectively.
Yep. So that was what I was saying when you say. So I'm gonna read through that again. So when we're saying to see in the classroom and beyond through leadership training, mentorship, and principles gained through athletics. So I just wanted to reiterate on that. And that was our mission. So we do have values, and these values, if we're talking about this facility, or we're gonna strive off these values. So we're saying leadership, accountability, student growth, respect, and service. And when we spend service, community service or have service, just giving back. That's what service. So again, leadership, accountability, student growth, respect, service, and self-discovery. I skipped over that. Self-discovery. So expanding knowledge by exposure. We work off exposure. That was one of our biggest things. So I'm gonna go into self-discovery, expounding knowledge by exposure. So what we do, we really strive off exposure. If you haven't seen what we've been doing this summer, we're exposing kids to different resources in our community. There's things that we grew up here in Ocala that we didn't even know they were a thing. We ride by these roads, we ride by these places, but we didn't know what actually went on. So in our adult life, we actually were able to go off to various places, how we all said where we went to school, and learn different things and get exposed to different things. So we know the value of exposure. It helped us to be to this point where we were able to hear different words, hear different languages, hear different accents, and know where that comes from. We wanted to bobble all that knowledge that we have amongst us three and put this into our program and actually put that into our youth. So when we self-discovery, exposure. So exposure is the key thing we work out of. This summer, just to name a few, we took kids to City Hall to meet the mayor. With the Team Cone, which is a local distributing company in our area. We visited a farm, Bleach Plantation, which is 4,000 acres, and it's crazy. In the Marion County area, we're big on farm and agriculture, and you ride by these farms every day, but you actually really don't know what goes on in these farms. So we were able to take these kids to the farm and see how they do what they do and how they actually make their money. So that was a key thing. So yeah, exposure. So I mean, that's us in a nutshell. We really just wanted to get on here, let you see our faces, put a name with a face, and actually hear what our mission is. And I hope we ask you questions, because we get asked a lot. What is Kut Different? Who's behind it? So you see us right here. We definitely look forward to growing, adding more kids, adding more mentors, and just building amongst our community. And we need your support. Everyone out here, we can't do it by ourselves. It truly takes a village to raise these young men in our community. And if you guys want to reach out, if you want to help, just reach out to us. We'll find a way. We'll have upcoming things. We'll definitely put it out and let you guys know what's going on. But to this point, we appreciate everyone that has supported us up to this point. Like the mission we're on, it's a long journey. We're nowhere near where we want to be, but we're glad to be doing this work. And I'm speaking for myself. I'm glad to be this work. And for me, like I said, I just looking forward to doing this work, meeting more young men, and keeping Kut Different. Making Kut Different a global brand. That's really what I'm doing. So that's it for me. I'm gonna let Eddie and Coach say their piece, and we'll finish it off.
Yeah, again, Jamie touched on our values, and I mean, it's just not values that's on paper. We live those every day. And we know if we live them, we can get the kids to not. They will see it and they will believe. It's not just something that's just said. So I mean, the time, the effort, the things that we pour into these kids, man, from the bottom of our heart, is something that we definitely want to do, and we definitely want to see the kids succeed just as well as Kut Different. And again, like Jamie said, with your support, we know that Kut Different will be a major success, and we thank you.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on everything they said, I as well as them are perfect examples of small town kids who had dreams. We used our talent to provide us with a better life and provide us with a skill set that actually may be a little bit different than those that we grew up around. And all we're doing now is really maxing out our skill set and talents, and kind of sowing a seed into the younger generation on ways that they can do the same thing. Just because you're from a small place, you can still live there and have an exciting life and all that good stuff. But sometimes you need somebody to tell you and even show you a roadmap of how to do that. And that's kind of like our goal.
sure. So yeah, man. So we, like you say, we're so excited to do this work, and that's it. Anything you ask, we definitely gonna put Coach. We're gonna have a drop with Coach stuff on here with this information. Cause get at him because he's trying to get fast. He's the man. He's the man to get up with. So we're glad we got to get a little sign off going on. I know me and Eddie worked on one the other day, but so we was like, what we did.
We are Kut
Different. So it was like, yeah. So I'm Jamie Gilmore.
I'm Eddie Rocker.
I'm Tony McCall.
And we are Kut Different.
There you go.